Servanthood. Don't ever get the idea that a job is beneath any of us. We have a master who washed the dirty feet of his disciples. Jesus washed the feet of Judas and Peter. He knew he would be betrayed by one of them and denied by the other. Jesus only did the things he saw his Father do. He said the things his Father said. In John 13, before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour had come and that he should depart from this world to the Father, having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. And supper being ended, the devil having already put into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from the God and was going to God, rose from supper and laid aside his garments, took a towel, and girded himself. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel. And when he was girded, which he was girded, then he came to Simon Peter, and Peter said to him, Lord, are you washing my feet? Jesus answered and said to him, What I am doing you do not understand now, but you will know after this. Peter said to him, You shall never wash my feet. Jesus answered him, If I do not wash your feet, you have no part with me. Simon Peter said to him, Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head. Jesus said to him, He who is bathed needs only to wash his feet, but is completely clean. And you are clean, but not all of you. For he knew who would betray him. Therefore he said, You are not all clean. Speaking of Judas Iscariot, I just thought that was interesting. And I know in my own life, and I'm sure many of you, to be a servant is easy when it comes to your family and those you love. To serve your husband and your children and do for them and clean up after them. And as you get older, you'll find out if you still have your parents that you're caring for them and doing almost a lot of the things that you did for your own children. That's because you love them, and we do things for people we love. But a lot of times we don't for those we don't love, and we're supposed to love everyone. In just a few ways that we could show love, and I know it's hard to sometimes because no one ever does it for us, but maybe they would. You could just, I just jotted a few easy things down, just as you're, especially men, it seems chivalry has been lost. Open a door, just open the door for a woman or a pregnant woman as she's going into somewhere. Be sure and do that. And for senior men and women, help them out in any way you can. Just driving down the road and there's been a car you see that's been sitting trying to pull out for a while, let them out into the street. And me personally, I've tripped many a times and fallen, but there was no one around to help me up. But if you ever see that, help them up. I can remember one time I was going to work and I was driving to work and I looked to the left and there was a woman that was just sitting on the drive. It was a place of business, and she was on the concrete. And there was another elderly woman trying to help her up, and they couldn't. I pulled in. It was right after my mother had passed away, and I knew there was no way on earth that I was not going to get her in that car. I was able to get her squat down. At that time, I could squat pretty good, and I was in my 50s, but I could do it, and get her on my legs, on my lap. And then once I got her there, I was able to just, God gave me the strength just to lift my legs and get her back in that car. It took about 5 minutes, and yes, I was late for work, but you know what? I'll never regret that, and I never would have forgiven myself if I would have drove by and saw that. But those are some things that you can do, and just little things. Smile. I know there's a lot of people out there, cashiers, and I can understand why they're not happy because they get so many grumpy customers. Just give them a smile. Love y'all. Have a blessed day.